So, Paul, I learned today that USB-Cs are actually potentially dangerous. Did you get a chance to look at that article yet?
Um, I just was looking at it, but I didn't get into the part where it was dangerous. You want to explain that to me?
So I don't know why they're dangerous. I know a lot of it's up to quality control, and standards have not really been set yet on what's required for a USB-C because they do so much different stuff. I mean, USB-C can do like 30 or 40 different things. It's pretty insane what it's capable of. But with that, people like think they're purchasing a certain type of USB when they're really not, or it's very like technological which one. So people end up like buying USB-Cs that are not rated to their battery or to their voltage, or maybe they're buying one for HDMI when it's meant for charging, or lots of different things. And that's actually one of the reasons that adoptance has been so slow, I guess I've realized.
Interesting. So it's like causing people's phones to blow up and stuff. That's pretty awesome.
Maybe not blow up, but definitely have problems. I know it'll like fry your battery. And there's this whole guy who's dedicated his site called bensonapproved.com. I'm going to post it out there. This is my PSA today for the Holo Herald podcast. Let me drop this into the chat for y'all. If I can get it. Not the Holo Herald podcast, the Reality Check podcast. It's going to take me a minute to get used to that. bensonapproved.com. This guy's gone through and he's found like approved USB-Cs for whatever you're doing. Because a lot of them on Amazon can have negative effects on your batteries or your quality of whatever you're trying to watch over USB-C. So it's pretty interesting. One thing about I love USB-C, Paul. What's your opinions on USB-C first before I get into a little bit of a rant about it?
Well, I love it. I love how fast it charges and stuff like that. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm a big fan of USB-C, but I did like micro USB for phones because literally everyone has a micro USB charger on them. Literally no one has USB-C on them unless they have a phone that requires USB-C, you know? So that was kind of a detractor for me once I did get a phone that has USB-C, but I've learned to accept it because my phone charges like 1,000 times faster now.
So you're exactly right. I love USB-C, and my favorite thing about it is it's like it's universal. You can plug it in any way. That's one of my least favorite things about a mini or micro USB. I feel that a lot of the wear and tear comes from me trying to jam the port in the wrong way. With USB-C, I feel like I get it stays a lot more taut because I can plug it in a lot easier. But do you think the HoloLens, everything should be USB-C on future AR headsets? Do you think like if you throw a micro USB on something now, you're like way in the past?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think at this point the world does need to just accept USB-C, and where we've moved on from micro USB. I think that's a little old-fashioned-ish, but I would like if devices had more than just like one or two USB Type-Cs. Like they should hook us up. If they're going to give it to us, give it to us. Don't make us get like dongles and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like one USB-C dongle that has to port in like a whole bunch of crap. Yeah, I don't like that either. I just posted an article in there about The Verge talking about that Microsoft doesn't think USB-C is ready for the mainstream, and you're looking at getting a Surface Book 2, and it has USB-C on it, does it not?
Oh yeah, it has one USB-C, I believe, and one normal USB type, like the USB 3.0.
The dongles are getting super powerful. I mean, with the USB-C, you can basically plug in anything. It's pretty impressive
yeah.
now.
You can run the entire Surface dock off of the USB-C.
Really? And that's pretty powerful, right? That lets you do like VR, HDMI, all that crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, you get HDMI for 2 monitors. You get gigabit Ethernet. You get obviously power and a couple other things, and I think you get an SD card slot out of it as well.
Interesting. So, well, let me get away from USB-C and we'll go ahead and we'll start the podcast officially. Sorry, guys, I had to get that out of the way, my little USB-C PSA. One of my biggest gripes about the HoloLens is that it doesn't have USB-C on it. And I went onto the Holo developer Slack and I was like, why does it still have micro USB on it? Or why did they put it on? Because it's such a futuristic technology. I would think that they would be, like, they would have the foresight that AR is going to be popular. So I would have thought that they were going to have the foresight that USB-C was going to be popular. But apparently Microsoft, just in general, doesn't like USB-C all that much, which I find curious. So I definitely think we'll see it on the new devices. I mean, Magic Leap's going to have it, Vuzix. I think all of those new devices have it, so we'll definitely see it. Anyways, welcome to the Reality Check podcast episode. Someone help me. What episode is it?
45. Even though
40.
I guess it could be 44 because last week we did 44 for like 8 minutes and then everything broke. So we'll take it back a notch and we'll go 44. I'll change that real quick for everyone so no one gets confused.
I think that's a good call. So this is episode 44 of the podcast. We had a little bit of interruption last week. As you can see, the quality of me has probably been bumped up significantly, and that is due to some new equipment that we've got to be able to use an actual camera for it. So we tried implementing that, broke the whole thing. You know how implementing new stuff goes. Anyways, this week we're ready to go. You may notice it's just me in the hot seat. Austin's over there running the switcher. Caden's gone for the day, so if anything goes wrong with the switcher, just give Austin a break. It's actually really hard to run the switcher. Caden does a really great job of it. So this is his first time trying to manage all that. He's got a microphone over there. You want to say hi?
Hey guys, what's up? Glad to be here. Don't hate me for...
He's even got a cam. Do you want to turn your camera on?
Oh, yeah. Hey guys. Don't hate me.
There's the little behind the scenes of how we run the whole entire thing. There's cables going everywhere, and the whole fun thing. He's still learning. There he goes. He got it. So thank you guys for joining us for the Reality Check podcast. Austin's for the switcher. I'm in the hot seat, and we have Paul over in Cincinnati in the remote location. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Paul.
Hi everyone, it's Paul coming at you from Cincinnati, broadcasting out of Cincinnati. I like saying that. So yeah,
Broadcasting sounds a lot more
excited for
professional.
another episode of the Reality Check podcast, and I think we've got some pretty good topics. We're just starting CES this week, so there's some early news coming out of it, but not all the big players have had their news come out yet.
Exactly. Next week we'll probably have a lot more to talk about. I mean, there has been a lot of happenings in MR and everything in general. That we actually had some links that we didn't get to last week that we should probably touch on that we said we were going to. But a lot of our news is going to be focused around CES. We really wanted to go to CES this year. Anyways, before I get into that, let me tell you about our lineup. Today we're going to be talking about CES. We're going to be talking about a new startup called Lucid Technology. That's really interesting. Then we'll move over to some Windows mixed reality and Oculus Rift stuff that came out of CES and Steam VR and that such. So go ahead and sit tight. It's going to be good. We got lots of topics to hit. Also, if you guys have any questions about anything, HoloLens related, mixed reality related, anything related at all, go ahead and hit it up in the live stream. If you guys aren't watching the live stream, I highly recommend Tuesday nights we stream at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. So it's a little bit late for some people and a little bit earlier for some people, but we would love to have you guys come join us. It's awesome. And thank you guys for listening. Let's get right into the news. Do you want to hit us off with our first CES announcement, Paul?
We could talk about this Rokid AR headset that was just kind of released, like kind of announced, I guess, at CES. I didn't have a lot of chance to look at this, but they look really nice.
We could jump to React.
They look like a Magic Leap that doesn't need an external processing unit and an external battery.
So, Rokid Glasses is a pair of AR glasses that look appropriately futuristic, but the reality is much more complicated. This is an article by The Verge that I can go ahead and drop.
I just posted it.
Oh, Paul's already got me, so way ahead of me. Anyways, I've got it up on my screen so we can look at it. Paul, we're reacting to it right now. I've got the article up. Amid the new AR frenzy, which is being pushed along thanks to powerful smartphone platforms. It's interesting that people keep talking about Google's AR Core when AR Core has yet to come out or be released. At least I haven't seen anything from AR Core, and I'm on their developers list. AR Core's not out yet. Am I incorrect by that?
I don't believe it's out yet. Let me look that up for you.
Someone in the comments can also let us know.
Yeah, AR Core, Google developers.
I don't think it's out yet because I was on their developers list.
They have a website for it now. Oh, AR Core Developer Preview 2 is now available. See the blog post for more information. I'll link everyone to that. So AR Core Developer Preview is out right now, and they actually just came out with the second version.
Interesting. Okay, well, I guess the developers have it, but it's not mainstream quite yet. We should get our hands on some AirCore stuff. I wonder if anybody we know is doing anything interesting. I bet they are. Anyways, moving on. So what's up with Rokid's new headset? What do you think of these new headsets, Paul?
All of these
No,
right now are just like, to me, when it looks like this, it's just vaporware at this point. I would like to see real, actual glasses before I'm like, oh wow, these look amazing and they're gonna work amazing. I feel like that would be getting on another like Magic Leap hype train, where it'd be like everyone's like, we haven't seen anything yet, but we already are in love with this company. Um, so I'd like to see an actual demo of them, but they look beautiful. They look really nice. I mean, yeah, I like them. Personally, the
okay.
looks look good, but from this guy's article, it's not ready yet for a lot of people.
Looks like we have a USB-C port in the back for I wonder what. Um, wow, it's already been 3 years since Microsoft's unveiled the HoloLens. I think it's even been longer than that. There's some heavy debate right now on when the HoloLens was actually announced.
I
Sorry, let
think
me
it looks
unzoom out
like
of this.
Magic Leap and the Hollins had a baby.
Oh, that. Uh, yeah, I guess it's a good point, Matt. It looks like the nose piece is what really reminds me of HoloLens right here, because this is very similar to the HoloLens nose piece. Um, when Rokid's prototype stumbles in its limited field of view, which remains only 35 degrees right now with a planned 50-degree field of view down the road. I hate this explanation of fi- FOV. I think that's one standard we really need to set as a community, is a actual standard. Like, I think Ronnie Abovitz, Mr. Abovitz, got it close with saying like it's a VHS at arm's length. I think that's a pretty good way of explaining it rather than degrees, but it's still too ambiguous. Is there a better standard for defining FOV? Because 35 degrees means nothing to me. Or does it mean anything to you guys? Can you explain? Do you know what that means off the top of your head?
Uh, it's a VHS tape at full arms. No, um, no, it means nothing to me. I'm sure it means something to someone somewhere, or like some engineer who does like the math to actually matter. But I feel like the best way that they could show us is just an overlay. Just show, hey, here's the box. Like, here's a picture of what you'd normally see. Here's a box showing where holograms will appear.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the best way. That's the way we try to do it in our videos, at least. So it looks like there's a quote out of it here that says, Rokid feels like an evolution of Google Glass, but it's not as sophisticated as HoloLens. Do you guys think there's room and growth in a market for devices that are Google Glass-esque, but not yet as powerful as HoloLens and Magic Leap and these other devices? Or do you think that's more of just a fluff market?
I kind of think that it's more like there's definitely a place for it. I think the guy that writes this
You can
article
go back to Paul.
misses the point of it because he says something like it only, yeah, like Google Glass, it only shows stuff in one eye, so you can interact with the real world still. But uh, but the HoloLens, you can still interact with the real world. In fact, it just increases your interaction with the real world. So I don't really understand where he's coming from with that. That's not really a selling point to me, and I don't know many people that it would be a selling point to. I think a lot of people might confuse like these FOV things with like saying like, oh, it's like VR, like that's all you can see.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if there's like I don't see a market for like a good like a Google Glass experience. I think the bar has been raised, and I think Google Glass kind of like tried its hand, and other devices similar to Google Glass tried its hand, and they didn't work out. It's not really what consumers wanted, at least in my opinion. It's not what I want from AR. When I think AR, I don't think Google Glass anymore. I think AR kit. I think HoloLens, Magic Leap, Meta, all of these different devices. I don't think that's anymore. And I don't think there's a market for them. Like if I was an investor, I wouldn't invest in a company like that. Would you?
Mm, definitely not. I think I agree with you where this proverbial bar has really been raised beyond what Google Glass did. Google Glass was a great like, hey, get your feet wet in this technology. But we've definitely moved beyond that. I don't think having it in both eyes is too intrusive at all. In fact, it just increases the experience in my opinion. I'd love to get my hands on a pair of Google Glasses so we can really try them out. But I just think there's no benefit to having it in only one eye. Like, I don't see how you'd sell that to someone over, say, a HoloLens that had the same form factor, you know?
Especially for work-based purposes, I feel like you're really not getting out of it what you need from a out of a one-eye device and stuff that's not like actual overlaid information. I think with IoT, you could have some maybe useful stuff, but some useful information I see in an area, but I feel like technology is growing fast enough that it's been completely outpaced that type of AR. Similar to what was the who is it ODG? Who made that like that personal cinema we were looking at a couple weeks ago?
Avigant. Avigant.
However you say it. Avigant.
Avigant.
I feel like that's the same place. I feel like that's been outpaced with like traditional VR and everything. That was cool maybe like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, but now I don't see it has much standing, and it's just behind in the days. I was actually going to see how much how much do you guys guess a pair of Google Glass costs on eBay right now?
It's probably still about $1,500, I would say. I think it's just, for me, it would just be like just a cool piece of technology to have. Just be like, oh yeah, I've got one of the original Google Glasses, you know?
It's not too bad actually. So Austin, you want to throw out a guess real quick? Oh, he just put it on React. We're revealing it. Okay, it's about $204 for 15 hours left on a bidding one. That's not too bad.
There's a brand new one for $1,500.
Ooh, oh, that's a version 3 with extras.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I guess it depends on what version you're looking at. Yeah, the version 1 only about $208. Between $200 and $500. I wonder what the differences are between them. $600 for a Sky Edition. Wow, I didn't realize there were so many different editions of Google Glass.
We should pick a setup just to try them out. I wonder, and you can film through them pretty easy, I guess. So
that's what everybody was worried about. I guarantee someone on the Holo Developer Slack has one. We should ask them. I'm really curious to see what it is. It'd be fun to do a comparison video. Comparing augmented reality is like one of our favorite things to do. Different forms of augmented reality. It's such a cool time right now because there's so many different types of technologies and takes on augmented reality. Because I mean, if we look like 5 years in the future, there's going to be one type of augmented reality that really dominates the field. One core technology, one core methodology, whatever it happens to be. It's all going to kind of look the same. Kind of like smartphones now, dude. Look nowadays, like 5 years ago when you were comparing smartphones, every smartphone had its own build, it had its own features, its own specs, its own OS to offer, but now they're all essentially the same thing. So that's really exciting about AR right now is there's so many different types of augmented reality to explore. I mean, from phone-based to Google Glass-based to new-based. While we're on the startups board, go ahead and do you have Lucid up, Paul?
Yeah, I have their white paper. I'll link them to the first one, and then I'll link them to the one that actually matters.
Right,
so this is just their website that I linked right there, and then
you can react.
Here's where I'm going to get all my information off of on their white paper. Where they're asking people for money, basically.
So this is lucid.co. Well, that's their website, but Lucid. It looks like let me compile my thoughts real quick. I'll just read off their site. Welcome to Lucid's ICO. We're building next-gen smart glasses on a decentralized AR ecosystem. I think there's a lot of fluff to be said there. You see, whenever there's emerging technologies, you see companies like these pop up. Where they're just trying to get on the bandwagon. It happened with IoT. It's happening right now with blockchain and cryptocurrencies. It happened with artificial intelligence. And they're just trying to capitalize on the keywords more than anything. Don't you think that's right, Paul?
Oh, this is definitely one of those like scammy things. They're trying to link both companies together. I mean, both of those things together. AR's becoming a buzzword. Blockchain's already a buzzword. Decentralized, like everything, like they're just really trying to just get a bunch of idiots to buy into their system, you know?
Yeah,
and
you get a bunch
they don't have anything to give us.
Yeah, you get a bunch of non-tech savvy investors, people that maybe made their money from selling golf clubs or, something that's not technological at all, investing, whatever it is. and they hear these buzzwords and they think they're getting in early on this, so they just throw out their money at these kind of companies. And there's a lot of money to be made in doing startups like these, made for the people making the startups. There's a lot of money to be lost by investors. This is AR right now is super high risk investments, I would say. But let's go ahead and see what they have to offer. Start at the top. Or do you want to talk about their white paper for a minute?
Well, this is more just about, so their white paper is less about the glasses and more about the ecosystem they're building with this new coin they're creating, the LCD coin.
Yeah, I saw that.
So basically what it is it works almost exactly like, I think, what's the one that works with like, what's that one site we signed up for, Eric, that deals with like a cryptocurrency of kinds, like the social media site where you get paid
Steam
versus
it.
your likes?
Steam it?
Yeah, Steam It. It works almost exactly like Steam It, but they're building an app store around that idea. And people are buying these LCD coins to get into it in that way, I guess. So the entire ecosystem, I guess, they're planning on just you buy apps using these LCD coins, and you sell apps to receive LCD coins. So they don't accept traditional currencies. So this is really just, to me, it's just overcomplicating a very simple system that's already in place, you know?
No, yeah, you're exactly right. It's everybody's like really, really capitalizing right now on some form of blockchain. It really actually aggravates me how everybody's trying to create their own cryptocurrency. I think Kodak just announced they're creating their own cryptocurrency. Lots of different companies, and we're big fans of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, but I guess that's not the future I had envisioned for it. And I don't think many people envision this, for lack of better terms, a shitstorm of cryptocurrencies and everything. I mean, you go to the coinmarketcap.com or whatever the website is that lists all of the cryptocurrencies, and there's like thousands and thousands. There's like 20,000 cryptocurrencies out now, which back like 4 or 5 years ago when we were looking at Bitcoin, I mean, it was really easy to find the ones that were legitimate and the ones that were not. But there's no way to wade through like 15,000 different cryptocurrencies. You know, it's insane because it's not hard to start one. I mean, if you have a Raspberry Pi, you can start a cryptocurrency. I mean, if you can clone a GitHub repo and you can plug in a Raspberry Pi, you basically can start your own cryptocurrency and blockchain. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Paul? First on blockchain theory rather than Lucid. Then we'll get to Lucid.
Well, I think people are misusing the technology around blockchain, especially all these cryptocurrencies. I don't think cryptocurrencies are the future for the blockchain. I think the future of the blockchain is going to be like what Ripple's already done with it, creating this system where banks can trade money between each other. I think that's a genius idea. I think Bitcoin is a genius idea in the fact that it's already arrived as the world's cryptocurrency. I mean, when you have Bitcoin ATMs sitting around, that's amazing. Some guy like in 2013, a guy traveled all the way around the world using only Bitcoin to pay for things. That's incredible to me. You can't name another cryptocurrency that does that. So a lot of times I think it's just people like, oh, I can create one and get rich because I'll give myself like 1 million of these. And once someone buys one at 1 cent, mine are all worth 1 cent, and I'll just sell them all, and I'll,
Exactly.
make like $100,000. So we get to this point where everyone's just, they think the only use for blockchain is a cryptocurrency, but you can use it for a lot of other things, like Ripple's doing. Yeah, they use the cryptocurrency to create it, but you could use it for medical records, you could use it for accounting records, you could use it for literally anything you wanted to, and it create this super secure system where everyone knows what everyone has, and it's just a much flatter infrastructure. But I don't think a lot of people realize how much potential blockchain has outside of like people in business who are like, oh yeah, cryptocurrencies are bullshit, but the technology underlying them is awesome.
I think that's a very good explanation, and I think there's so much room to expand into blockchain outside of cryptocurrencies, like you said. I know Jesse from the Holo Herald Slack and Michael Reed from Practical Analysis. They're both from Practical Analysis. I hope that's what their company's still called. It might be Practical VR or Practical AR now. I know they're working on ways of implementing augmented reality checks, blockchain mixed with augmented reality. I don't really understand how the core technology works. We're going to have them on here so they can describe it, but it's really interesting. The software just like tracks your gazes, tracks what you're looking at, tracks your interactions with the world, tracks your head movement, tracks all that stuff, and then it like verifies it. Blockchain. I don't know how it works. I'm not going to even talk about it because I have no idea how it works, but we've got to get them on because I think there's a lot of future to be made with security and blockchain and augmented reality devices as far as transactions go and everything, especially once transactions start to become super simple. It's all built into your headset and you basically just air tap and you've spent thousands of dollars potentially. I think there's a lot of room for accountability and security that we can find through blockchain. Anyway, so I'm going through this white paper. Anything of note from here, Paul?
They have an interesting stat here that the AR market is expected to hit like 35 billion or something like that. Let me see. By 2023, the market's supposed to hit $36.4 billion in AR, so that's pretty awesome. That's a real stat there. But this is just a lot of corporate fluff, in my opinion. For anyone, this is my PSA. Do not invest in ICOs. They're unregulated. I could literally set up a shell company, have an ICO, claim to do all this stuff. You guys buy into my cryptocurrency. I shut down the company. I've already gotten rid of all my cryptocurrencies. I've got all your money. Boom. That's an excellent scam. People can keep doing this. Do not buy into ICOs. It's a ridiculous. Well, it's a really smart idea for the scammer. If you're buying into them, you need to reevaluate your investment choices.
Especially if you're not extremely wealthy, where you can, giving away a little small percentage of your wealth is not going to hurt you. There's a lot of people, for it to mean anything, they have to give out 20 to 30% of their net worth, and that will just totally destroy somebody if it goes somewhere. Whereas if you're filthy rich, you can drop 5% and you'll get a huge return on investment if it works out. Anyways, so I actually have their patents up here. Do you want to pull this up, Austin, on the React Cam? So now one of the things that they're claiming is really impressive about it, and there's a huge white paper here. We're not going to go through all of it, but something that's really important is their patents. So let's go ahead and see what they have. Their patent 1 is compact lens assembly of the teleportal augmented reality system. What the dirt is that?
This is so fake.
All right, I'm opening it up. Let's pull it up. Whoa. Oh, man, why do patent sites have to be just such trash? Inventors. Hua Hong. I'm not going to comment on that. Can you give me a picture? I want a picture. I guess there's sometimes not picture patents, huh? Patents are such trash. Why is everything so complicated? Anyways, patent 2. Compact lens assembly for the teleportal augmented reality system CIP. Is that the actual? What is a CIP? Hold on. We're going to investigate with us live on the podcast. Come on, give me a picture of something. Wow, this patent's all the way from 1987. Or references to patents from 1987. I don't understand freaking patents, man. They're so complicated. Okay, algorithm for monitoring head-eye motion for driver alertness with one camera. Wow, how specific can you get? That's so crazy. How ambiguous and how specific. That's crazy. That's the most ambiguous, specific statement I've ever read in my entire life. Paul, tell me what this means. Algorithm for monitoring head-eye motion for driver alertness with one camera. What does that mean?
So there's one camera pointed at your eye. The algorithm is obviously involving machine learning to judge when you're focused on the road, and when your eye or head deviates from that path, it sends you an alert.
I have no idea, man. Well, first off, it's algorithm. Algorithm is such an ambiguous word as it is, and then they use one camera, and it's like it could track your head and eye. I hate patents more than anything. It's so confusing. Sorry, I accidentally closed out of it. Let me open it up again real quick. Let's see what the next one is. So do you think the value for these companies is more in their patents or more in their technology that they or their product that they actually offer?
I'm not even sure if these are real patents. Just coming out and saying that right now. This company screams scam to me. Um, but a lot of times these startups, all the value is in the patents. Like a company like Microsoft or Apple will come in and just buy them just to own the patent. They might not ever do anything with the patent. They become like these patent trolls. Um, that'll just sue you if you use their patent, but they're not actually going to do anything with it themselves. Uh, so that might be what they're trying to do, because you could literally go and be like, "Oh, this is like a novel invention. I'm just going to go patent it, but I'm never going to do anything with it." And then say someone develops something with it, you can go and sue them for royalties.
And just make tons of money. Oh man, it's
Yeah.
just Render Central. This looks like Magic Leap's white paper that they had forever ago. But I mean, obviously they were able to secure $3 billion in funding and didn't have to do an ICO really. So I'm looking at some of their renders now. This is all typical. All very. I don't have time to go through all this, but maybe one of our viewers do, and they can tell us whatever is going on here. This is long. It's kind of all over the place too. Like, what the heck is this? Crowdfunding terms. Oh, they're gonna do crowdfunding.
DO is basically it. It's just such a. I hate that it happened. I hate that some genius was like, "This is a great idea for me to get a ton of money without actually having to do anything," because everyone's so crazy about cryptocurrencies right now. So hey, I think it's time to announce it. The Holo Herald is having an ICO. Our coins will start at 1 cent a piece,
What should
and
our
we're
coin be
issuing
called?
50 million.
50 million. I think we should issue 5.
Yeah.
There'll be $10,000 a coin. There's 5 of them, and we can guarantee they'll go up in value. But it's actually, there's a currency exactly like this. Do you remember that one currency that was like $100,000 for one coin, but the coin could be broken down into like subfragments?
Oh, yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, yeah.
anyway, it's so freaking confusing. It's so crazy right now. Anyways, what should our coin be called? RC coin, reality check coin.
Yeah, RC coin, and it's
RCC?
tied directly to the value of our podcast. So 0.
Hey, I've given us 2 super chats of $2, so we can break that down.
Okay.
We can make $2 stretch really far. I mean, $2 in Bitcoin on day one would have netted you a whole bunch of money now, or Dogecoin. Go buy now. Okay, moving on.
Let me just calculate the value of our cryptocurrency. So we're going to issue 2 million coins with a value
Yeah.
of $2.
Yeah.
2 million. Okay. So our coin will be worth 1/100,000th of a cent. So if anyone wants in, get in here. Get in, boys.
Okay, we'll be opening it up. We could actually probably make that by the end of tonight. I could have that up and running. Okay, wait. I want to see okay, so I want to see who the CEO of this company is. Clifford Gross. Clifford.
All right, let's do our research on this guy.
Sorry, we do this a lot of times, not on the podcast. This is honestly what we spend our days doing. So you guys get to be here with us.
Hang out with the Holo Herald.
That'd actually be fun. He's a dentist. Let's
He's
do
dead?
LinkedIn. No, he's a dentist. We find his obituary on here.
I did find an obituary for Clifford Gross.
Oh dang, that would have been hilarious. Let's see. What is it called? What's the company called? Lucid.
Lucid, yeah.
LUCYD. Here we go. Holo Herald investigates. I've actually wanted to start an investigative journalism segment of the Holo Herald, because there's been like the Chinese fake stuff. There's been so much stuff, Magic Leap, all this stuff I wanted to do investigative journalism on. But oh crap, I clicked on the. Oh wait, we can get one. Let's see how we get one. Sorry guys, my Chromebook loads really slow. How's everybody doing tonight, by the way, on the stream? Everybody good? Everybody ready for CES? Let's see what the comments are. I'll go through those while we're here. I'm waiting for the site to load. Welcome to the stream, Snail Mail Games. You're always here, great fan. Also, #1 Hollands fan. Always good to have you here, man. Talk about Steemit. Steemit's cool. The one thing about Steemit that I found is it's all the only videos on Steemit that actually make money are how to make money on Steemit videos. So that's something intriguing that I found. But we didn't make any money off of our videos. I think it's a good idea though. I think there definitely needs to be a new way to make money other than YouTube with video and creating content. I think that is totally a system that can be revolutionized and redone in a really easy way. The easiest way to do it would be to follow the Brave browser, follow their methodology on cryptocurrencies and in a non-ad-based web. I think we need to move away from an ad-based web. Look up Brave browser if you guys have time. It's really cool. They have a built-in Bitcoin wallet, and how it works and pays out to the sites that you like is, I think that's the future of the internet. Anyways,
I would much prefer that. I think ads are way too intrusive, even with the recent crackdown that like Google's had. I still think they're just way too intrusive into your experience. I mean, you go on the internet to experience content, not to look at an ad for something no one wants, you know?
Exactly, and I guess the big problem with the methodology is there's so much wrong with it. I mean, we could spend a whole podcast talking about it. Maybe we'll have to have a segment of next week's podcast or something dedicated because it's something I'm really passionate about. But just a quick synopsis: it doesn't work well because it promotes clickbait content and obtrusive content and lying, and also it does not promote going to new sites because there's too many ads right when you go to a site. It depromotes a lot of stuff, and people statistically only visit like a handful of sites, you know, between 1 and 15 sites. They will never go outside of those sites unless it's just once or twice. But on a day-to-day basis, people only go to like 1 or 4 sites. So the system should work is you pay $5. It'd be a paid system, which people should be fine with. You should be okay paying for content that you enjoy. Like Brave browser, how it works. I'll just break it down really quickly. Brave browser works in a really cool way. You have a Bitcoin wallet built into your browser. You put 5 Bitcoin or however much you want in there. It's a pay by how much you want system. You put in 5 Bitcoin. Well, not 5. Well, that's a lot of Bitcoin. We're gonna say Bitcoin's worth $1. You'll put in $5. Sorry, you'll put in $5 worth of Bitcoin, and then throughout the month, Brave tracks all the sites that you're visiting, and not like a creepy like we're watching you track, but for a good reason. They track the sites that you go to. They track how much time you spend on those sites and how often you visit those sites, and then they have a whole calculations built out algorithm. And it decides what sites you spend the most time on, and then it automatically divvies out that $5 worth of Bitcoin and sends them to the site. Now, doesn't that make sense? That makes so much more sense to me than clicking on ads and getting crap shoved down your face and having to make clickbait content, because this now promotes getting people to your site to stay there for a while, so making good quality content and promoting building communities on your websites or YouTube or wherever it happens to be. And that is how the internet will be saved, is a system like that. People have to begin to agree to pay for internet for a better system, which I think if you bill it like that, I think people will be much more likely to shell out $5 a month for their browser or whatever it might be. People pay so much for Netflix. Why is it so crazy to pay for money for your browser? Obviously, there's still free systems, but if a majority of people pay, then a minority can still use it for free. It's just exciting, and I think that's probably the way it should go. What do you think, Paul?
Oh, no, I think that is definitely the way it should go. I've always hated ads. I love getting my stuff for free, but I hate ads. So, yeah, I would be down. Just put me in for like $15 a month.
Yeah.
And divvy it out automatically. I don't even have to think about it. I would love that. That's the system I want.
Exactly. So, and Lucid, actually, this is topical because Lucid, their methodology is based off of your interactions, and you pay/get paid for interactions with holograms, whatever that might be. So you can see how this could potentially become a flawed system in the future, where you get paid for interacting with lots of random stuff, which is a flawed system, kind of how we are now with AdSense and an ad-based internet. I think it could be way more obtrusive. Like if you think if you use ad blocker right now, just imagine the future of what it could be like. And Lucid's promoting, air quotes, that. I don't know if they'll ever get there or anything like that. Sorry.
So do you think Google will allow this to happen? Because their dominance in the world is created on ad revenue. If they didn't have ad revenue, they'd just have this awesome website that everyone uses, but they'd never make any money off of it.
I think what Google should do is they should be the ones to build the system.
The little cut of everyone's
exactly
Bitcoin earning.
Everybody goes like, hey, if you want to be part of our site tracking system, our site analytics, either the site pays a little bit or they give 1 to 6% of whatever they make on it. Same way analytics work, basically be the same way. And then you're still promoting people to go to websites. You're still promoting people to find websites. And if people use your analytics, your wallet-based system, it goes out. And I mean, you can imagine how easily this would be handled through blockchain. Everything would just be dispersing out all the time quickly. Everybody would be cross-checking each other, and thousands, millions of transactions within seconds, and it would all be lined up just fine. It's really awesome, and that would save YouTube. I think a YouTube Red system like that, if YouTube Red ran like that and was built like that, we would not have the problems we have on YouTube nowadays. But I think the biggest overhaul you'd have to get is convincing people to pay for stuff, because man, there are some people that just, once you give something to somebody for free, they do not want to pay for it. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, and it makes complete sense because you're not adding any special features. I mean, if the only reason someone's paying is so they don't see ads, very rarely are people going to pay. You got to give them some. So it's going to be hard to sell enough people who use AdBlock where you could have downloaded AdBlock like 34 million or something like that.
It's insane. It's something like 16% of the internet or something like that.
AdBlock, oh, then it's way larger than 34 million. I'm an idiot. AdBlock downloads, 200 million downloads. So if you get 200 million downloads to go on your website, which is ad-free, but you only have to pay $5 a month, and you don't even realize the money's leaving. Basically, it's only $5 a month. I see.
And it's
I can see a future of that. Even if it's just a small community of internet users to do that, I would gladly join that community.
Exactly, and it's a direct way to feed the content and the information that you enjoy. If you like CNN, instead of just becoming a Patreon to their site, ingest their content. Use it. You don't have to buy their subscription. You don't have to do a thing. Just ingest what they make. That makes way more sense to me than paying for something. Same with, I think people like Patreons. I think Patreon is there to fix a flawed system, how it is. I love Patreon for what it is, but it's not the future, and I don't think it's a sustainable future, because you can't. What if your creator just stops making content? Well, then they don't deserve your Patreon, or if they stop making stuff, then they don't deserve your Patreon. So if you forget to take it off, you're still paying them, blah, 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 you're still paying them. But if you're actively ingesting their content and it promotes making good content for people to keep ingesting, it's really good. I don't know, but it's going to completely collapse our society, because it's not going to happen, because everything we do nowadays is based off of ads. And it has been since like the 40s, ad-based everything has just been, that's the only way that people can comprehend stuff, especially kids, because this doesn't have a really good effect for kids, unless their parents are paying for it. But if you can force kids to buy stuff, then it's a whole different system. I don't know. Intriguing idea to think about. And Lucid's kind of working on an idea like that. Sorry, let me go through these last comments. Have you checked out Janus VR? I have not. It is a 3D web browser that is really cool. No, but I love browsers, so we'll get into that. Hyper reality is exactly what I think about. Have you seen the Ugandan Knuckles meme from VR chat? Apparently there's driving VR adoption up a lot. VR chat, yeah, VR chat's been going crazy. All right, let's move on to the next piece of news. We'll be following Lucid. They've been going for quite a while. We'll do some more research. We'll do some investigative journalism, and we'll come back at you guys next week with some good stuff. Tom Clancy. Whoa. Tom Clancy wrote about this. Tom Clancy's dead. Is that a different Tom Clancy? Never mind. Sorry. I'm getting distracted. What's our next topic? Let me see. Let me go through my stuff.
We can talk about Lenovo and I forget who else. Lenovo and Google came out with their own VR head, like a standalone VR headset.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Where is that? I don't see.
So this is. I didn't link it. I just remembered that I saw the news.
Okay, hit me with it.
They came out with this standalone VR headset. Let me link it for you. Okay, so this is meant to compete with that new Oculus Rift that's coming out. I keep on forgetting the names. They need to come up with a memorable name for it.
Oculus Go.
And then also the HTC one.
The Vive Pro.
Yeah. So this is a direct competitor, and honestly, it looks really nice. So I think this is going to be the year of standalone VR, where it's just these awesome-looking headsets that
you can react.
No cables.
Let's see. I'm pulling it up right now.
Google partnered with them, so you know it's going to be beautiful.
Awkward. It didn't load.
Oh.
Paul's sending us to some virus-filled website.
It's Gizmodo.
What's the headset called? Just tell me what it's called.
Just type in Google Lenovo VR standalone.
Google Lenovo VR. Boom. Let's do it. Here we are. The standalone VR headset will ship in mid-2018. And is a beauty. Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, it's called the Lenovo Mirage Solo. Okay. Can I do a little PSA for anyone who is responsible for naming these headsets? Name for it. You know, like how Microsoft has the HoloLens. They're not calling it like the HoloLens Mirage VR AR standalone headset. You know, just give us something simple, sweet, to the point.
I agree. I agree completely. I think it's too hard to know names, and I think too many companies are making too much stuff. You have to do something to diversify yourself. I think that's why we're even calling it the Dell headset or the HP headset or something, you know. So it looks like it's got a price point around $400, which I think is pretty close to what the Vive Pro will be. The Oculus Go will be just under that. And I think the Oculus Go is a little bit of a different type of system, so I think that makes sense. This headset looks really cool. I really dig it. I like the button control, remote. I read, ooh, look. Is this through Microsoft? They must get their headsets for the same place. Who is this? Lenovo? Because this is the same headband off the Lenovo.
It's Lenovo and Google this time.
Okay, so yeah, this is the same headband off of the Lenovo MR headset. And this looks very similar to the clicker, or the Daydream controller. So that's interesting to me that they're using the same headset. I mean, it's a beautiful headset. Don't change it. It's so comfortable. It's the most comfortable VR headset I've ever put on. I really like the Lenovo one specifically. Let's see. The Daydream View with a Pixel 2. The screen is a 5.5 LCD that offers 1280 by 1440 pixels per eye. There's 64 gigs of storage with a micro SD slot for more space. That's pretty impressive. I'm down. I'm digging all of this so far. I'm not seeing anything I don't like. Any complaints so far? Have you seen anything?
No. And you know what's really awesome? Is it's got a dual... those two cameras on front, they're actually a camera. Like you can... They're fisheye lenses, 13 megapixels, that you can actually see what's happening outside.
So are they using...
You can capture stills and video in 4K.
Interesting. So are they using those for tracking? Are they using like the SLAM algorithm? I'm really curious to behind the tech what they're using. I wonder if they're using like the SLAM tracking.
You're just capturing what's in front of the cameras. So the dual lenses shoot at slightly different angles, so there's a nice 3D effect you don't get with 360 videos. Huh.
That's nice. I dig it.
Create your own VR content using this headset. It's only a 180-degree camera, but you can create your own VR content and look at it later. So like here they have a video where they're at the kid's birthday party and the guy is looking around the room with the headset on filming, and he goes back later and can go into the room like and go back into that same room area and actually like experience the birthday party again. So it'd be kind of cool if like someone was gonna miss something important, like a kid's birthday, and they still wanted to be there.
Yeah, dude, mix that with future AR content. That'll be awesome. So let's compare this really quickly. Let's pop over to the TPcast just announces that they will have a wireless adapter for the HTC Vive. What are your thoughts on this, Paul?
Wait, say that again.
Here you go. I'll drop the link in the. No,
I don't think you posted that one.
let me see. I'll pull it up. I'll make sure. I know it's on Marquise's Brownlee stuff. Here you go, guys. They are using AR Core. Okay, that's what I was thinking. They're using AR Core for most of their AR style stuff. Okay, that'll be cool. That'll be interesting. There's a term for that I always forget for that kind of augmented reality where it's like through something. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, that'll be super interesting. So I wonder how that will compete with the new wireless HTC Vive adapters that they're coming out with, which look pretty intense if you ask me.
This looks prettier. Like the Google one, the Lenovo Google one, looks better than the
$400 prettier. Is it $400 prettier? And it doesn't. I don't know if that Lenovo one does Steam games. I bet it'll do some Steam games, but I doubt it can do a lot of them.
I guess yeah, because it is running on that Google Daydream stuff.
I think we're honestly. I think let me go to.
I think it's cool technology. It doesn't seem ready to me in terms of aesthetics. It probably works perfectly. I don't think they would have started selling it if it didn't work good. But I think in terms of just pure aesthetics, we could have waited just a little bit.
I found the wrong. I'm so confused. There's too many. Sorry, my computer's slow as dirt, guys. I was trying to pull up Marquise Brownlee because I think there's two companies that are making the wireless.
Vive came out with a proprietary one as well.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yes, yeah. Vive came up with one too. Do you have a link to it, Paul?
No, it's in that article actually.
Oh, it is. Does it have a picture of it?
Let me. I got
wireless
it here.
Rift and.
Oh, this one looks much better. Even though
that's
you
what I
look
was
like an
looking
alien if you're wearing it, or an ant.
Posted in chat. Okay, there you go. All right, okay, there we go. Got it. Sorry, guys. So I don't know. So I think we're encroaching on that good enough VR space that I've talked about since we started the podcast. I think VR has the potential to be like there's going to be two different segments of VR. There's going to be like hardcore gaming, Steam, super hot VR, you know, where you get a badass PC, you build it, you plug that bad boy in, and you're ready to go. And then I think there's going to be like that good enough VR specter, something like Google Daydream, Google Cardboard, but a little bit more beefy and a little bit more accessible. And I think their price points will be similar, but their use cases will be completely different, like compromises for each of them. Obviously, compromises for the HTC Vive is you're going to have to be tethered. I don't see the Vive Pro. Oh, well, we can pull up the Vive Pro while we're here. Official Vive wireless adapter. So many links. All right, here's the Vive Pro. We can just talk about. I can't find so many links, dude. There's so much news. Let me go back. Sorry about this, guys. So, Paul, what do you think is going to be the mass appeal? Which one do you think is going to take off more? The good enough experience, or the people are like ready to embrace the hardcore side of things and plug in and go what needs to be done? There it is.
I think at this point, good enough is gonna take over for a bit, and then people will slowly get into that enthusiast stuff once a company like Apple gets into the game and makes something that looks pretty, and does a good job of itself.
No, exactly. Let me see some of these comments right here. Thought you were someone I knew. There was a problem with Windows MR TPcast. There are some problems with the TPcast for Windows MR. I think the Acer headset is the only one that will support TPcast. I think the other ones don't have pull-out cables. I think Windows Mixed Reality is the only one that does. Acer's headset is
No,
the
the
only one.
HP is the only one with the detachable cord.
HP, thank you. I think the HP is the only one with a detachable cord. So that will cause some problems for some people. People were talking about that right there. I could have just read that. I don't think it's the end of the world. Did they announce a price point for those? I don't know if there's a price point, and that's a lot to handle. Like I'm all for like no cables. I hate cables more than anything. Standalone. People are saying that this is going to be the year of standalone devices, standalone AR, standalone MR, standalone computers. Razer's new laptop that we're rounding up to the end of the podcast, so we won't get a hit on it. But Razer's new laptop where it all runs off your phone and you just plug it into a laptop. I love the idea of that. I love the idea of your phone just being a GPU. Everything just is remote. Very, very malleable. You play it how you want it when you want it. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how well this will actually work. I want to see some actual demos of it. And within the next couple days, we're going to have those answers. Marquise Brownlee, Linus Tech Tips are going to be making videos about this and tell us exactly what's going down with them. We were so close to going CES, too. I really wish we would have. But, Paul, before we end, what do you think of Razer's laptop?
To me, it seems... Well, at this point, that it's just...
His framing.
A very large peripheral for your phone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you don't think it's like an external GPU yet at that point?
No, I don't see it as that yet. I think that, to me, I don't see the difference between that and just getting a Chromecast and hooking it up to a monitor, and then you can just cast your phone to the monitor. Even though I know the latency issues are there, I still think that, I don't know, I just don't see the use for it yet. Until we have phones that are running like Windows or like the I don't know what the Apple one's called, like Snow Leopard or whatever, or like Linux, we're just not there yet for technology like that.
I think we're almost there with,
and it looks awesome.
I think we're almost there with the power-wise. I think like OS and adoption-wise, we're not quite there yet, but I think our phones are for everyday use, because my phone is more powerful than my Chromebook right here. I'm getting by pretty good using my Chromebook. So if I could just plop it into this, you can go ahead and go to React. I've got it up right here. This is Project Linda that just got announced for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about. It's a laptop adapter for your phone. The Razer phone is extremely powerful. It's one of the most powerful phones that you can get right now. It's pretty intense. So basically what you do is you grab your phone and you put it where the trackpad would be, and you can use it as a trackpad, which is genius if you ask me, and then use it as a laptop. And I think we're almost there. I really like the idea of your phone basically just being a GPU to plug into whatever. Like if you want to do VR, I don't like the idea of using your screen on your phone and sliding it in and then playing VR or playing AR, but I really like the idea of, I already have my phone on me. I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon. So let's go ahead and utilize that power. I'm really okay with that, especially if it's just one cable. If I can just get one USB-C cable from here to there, don't have to worry about anything else, and I'm using that additional power that's there, I really like that idea. Are you on board for that future, Paul?
Yeah, I think it's an awesome future.
Did I lose Paul?
For me, though, I like the traditional OSs versus like Android and stuff. Hello?
He lost you on Discord.
That's okay.
Okay.
There we go. He's coming back. He's coming back. Anyways, so I don't know what Paul said, but I'm going to assume he agreed with me. If he didn't, that's going to be really embarrassing. So
basically, I said
okay, there you go.
That yes, I'm on board, but for me, I'm a big fan of traditional OSs. And so until we get to that
What
moment.
if it's not even OS though? What if this is just like, you know, those Razer towers that you can add to your computers that all they do is boost performance? What if that's all it's doing? Is it's just about
you just plug and play GPUs.
Yes, it doesn't even have to run its own OS, doesn't do anything. It just boom, like your laptop would still have its own OS, your headset would still have its own OS, everything, but you just plug this in for power. You down for that?
Then why would I have a phone? No.
What do you? Because you're taking compromises. Because this has got better battery life, this has got more power to add to it, and you already have your phone and you already have your other devices, right? Or do you think it's just overcomplicating things?
I think it's kind of overcomplicating things. Razer is an enthusiast brand. Enthusiasts love overcomplicating things. I think this isn't ready for plebeians to use.
Please, they're not there yet. I beg to differ. I think it's right there. I think this is great because a Chromebook is basically will fit everybody's needs. And if you could pay 1/4 the price of the Chromebook and just bank off the power of your phone, I think people are down for that. But I guess CES will let us know.
It's gonna cost you like $800. So.
No way. Let me see. Where's my price point? It better not be $800.
This thing's not gonna be cheap. It's a Razer, dude.
Okay, now, but I'm talking like the idea, because that's what we're working towards. Like, this is the first of the first. There's been other people that have tried it before, but this is the first big brand to get on it. So I'm curious. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and close out. Any final words here, Paul?
No, I just want to... We're coming out and listening to the Reality Check podcast, and I hope everyone enjoyed the topics we talked about. If you didn't, oh well, we enjoyed talking about them. So yeah.
I'm just going to give a couple shout outs to everybody that's out there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for stopping by Snamo Games. Lay Ducky, you snuck in here right at the end. Great name, by the way. And number one HoloLens fan, as always, great to have you. Let me just run through these comments, see if there's anything really important. All right, doesn't look like anything super important, but thank you guys for joining us. This has been Reality Check episode 44. We didn't get hit a lot of news from CES because it's day one, so there's 3 more days still of CES news. So tune in next week, same time, same place, and we'll cover all of the rest from CES and all of the rest of the news. There's rumors that Magic Leap will be announcing some stuff. They sent some people to CES, so maybe they will have some sort of announcements. There's some other cool announcements that we have some rumors of on Magic Leap coming next week. And we can actually talk about our Magic Leap video and talk about the hate about that and everything. We also have awards that hopefully we'll be doing next week. Next week's going to be a big week. Just be here or be square, and we will catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Oh, Magic Leap drama. We didn't do Magic Leap drama. Wait. Did you mute me yet?
I didn't find anything. Is there anything?
Paul's not here. Okay, our Magic Leap drama. Oh man, Snamo Games. We almost went through an episode without talking about Magic Leap drama. That would have been terrible. I think our Magic Leap drama for this week is the fact that we released a Magic Leap drama and it's our most disliked video in history. Were you guys surprised by the controversy from that video?
You know, not really. I feel like a lot of people don't read. I've gotten that impression. Remember the video that's like which AR headset, which Win MR headset fits best?
Yes.
I don't care which one fits best. Just tell me which one is best. Well, they obviously didn't read the title of the video. We made that video like 2 months before anyone had their hands on these devices. And you weren't even allowed to take a demo of the actual device. It was more just like
here it is,
like feeling them and getting a feel for them. So yeah, people just don't read. So I feel like a lot of people thought that we actually had a Magic Leap or some crap like that. I
know, and I kind of understand if people were maybe mad when we didn't put clickbait, but that was only like the first 16 views that we didn't have the clickbait part up there. I am surprised by how, because I even talked to Noah, who's like the biggest Magic Leap fan of them all, and he was really okay with the video. He thought it was funny. He totally understood the whole thing. So I don't get everybody's hate. I don't know. People are way too gosh darn sensitive, or I don't know. Maybe they don't understand what was going on. But I mean, we didn't mean to offend anybody. We didn't even mean to offend Roni. We didn't. There was no hard foul. It was just a funny joke. And I guess you realize how wrongly the internet can take things, and that's a great example of using our other videos. People tend to not understand stuff. So I guess that's our Magic Leap drama. Is I don't even know if it was fans of Magic Leap. Every comment we had was positive, so people weren't commenting if it was negative. People were only commenting if it was positive. So that means they probably didn't have a reason to dislike it. Maybe they were just pissed that we didn't actually have a Magic Leap, but come on, people should have been smart enough to realize we didn't have a freaking Magic Leap. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Austin?
Yeah, it was kind of surprising. Sorry, I'm sick. But when we released the video, we lost like 5 subscribers.
Well, we lost a total of like 9 subscribers.
Like right off the bat.
From the whole video. Yeah, when I checked last.
It's like, what the heck? And yeah, I thought it was hilarious, but that's just our sense of humor. So people can do what they want. And like, what's the point of having a channel if you can't express your opinion?
No, exactly. There was even videos that were like less acting, more VR, AR content, and it's like we have almost 200 videos of AR, VR content, and we do one that's that. There will always be hate. And we are ready to embrace the hate. I was scared. I thought we did something very wrong when we first released it, though, like Austin said, because we were just losing like 3 or 4 subscribers within the first 15 views, and I thought we'd like said the F-bomb or something. I don't know. I was scared, but Austin's got a good point. Paul made that point. So I think we're fine, and hopefully Roni saw it. I really wish. I hope someone from Magic Leap, I guarantee someone from Magic Leap saw it and they liked it. Or maybe they all disliked it. Maybe that's why it got disliked so much.
They all subscribed and then unsubscribed.
Oh gosh, just to trigger us. So anyways,
all the Magic Leap employees, they're all surrounded with one computer, just like disliking it.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Reality Check. There's our little bit of Magic Leap drama for the ones that are listening. You guys are our true hardcore fans. We appreciate everything from you. And if you guys are just listening to the podcast in general, and if you've made it this far, which most people don't, if you do, that's really awesome. I want to start throwing... we used to throw out like gift cards at the end and random giveaways and blah blah blah. I'm not a big fan of giveaways, but it's fun when it's like that. So thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it, and we just reached 2,000 subscribers. So thank you everybody for getting us to 2,000 subscribers, and sharing with your friends. Growing the community is really helpful. We do this for you guys, and thank you guys so much. And this is Reality Check Podcast 44, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Turn SoundCloud up all the way. You didn't mute me. Mute me, Austin.
Mute him.
I love you, boys. I love you all.